Cars are on the grid at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, ready to begin the 9th season of NASCAR racing in Canada.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Bradley, and joining me is veteran racer Billy Rouse Jr. Todd Lewis and Tanya Beaudin are patrolling the pits for us here today. And, Billy, it's another year, more great storylines as we begin the 9th year of NASCAR racing in Canada.
Well, this NASCAR Canadian Tire Series book just keeps getting better. Every page it's just one of those reads you don't want to put down. And this year, we're going to add some more pages to the story.
Well, some of those storylines we're going to be watching. 2014 champion LP Dumoulin is back, looking to defend that championship. Wants to become the first back-to-back champion in series history. There are 11 events on this year's schedule. Take a look at the remaining 10 stops this year as we go coast to coast again.
And Sunset Speedway, added to the schedule this year, has always been the nicest facility without a date until this year. I can't wait for that little speed plant. It's going to be a dynamite show.
Well, we all know the championship will be a hard-fought battle, but this year we have a battle within with the Jostens rookie race. This year, 4 entrants in that one. You have Erica Thiering from Edmonton going to do the whole season. Gary Clute from Milton is back for the full year. Veteran road race ace Marc-Antoine Cameron going to try his hand on some ovals over the course of the season. And then you have to look at the storyline of 15-year-old Caden Lapsevich driving the Tim Hortons Dodge for his family's operation.
Well, pretty neat to see what they're going to do there. Don Thompson Jr., a veteran crew chief, a championship driver in his own right, and what a coach. If the kid pays attention, it's going to be a great season.
And speaking of that rookie race, it was the 59 of Gary Clute who set fast time in qualifying here, turning the 2.4-mile road circuit in a time of 1:23.261.
Pretty neat to see. We're talking about rookies, and young Clute comes right out and puts the thing on the pole. But now, 51 hard laps here at this tight racetrack. Let's see what he's made of.
Well, Clute's all strapped in and ready to go, along with 26 other drivers. Let's send it trackside, where John Grant from Wakefield, Canada, has today's command.
Just ready to go. Okay, guys, come on in. Drivers, start your engines!
The engines come to life for the first time in 2015. A raw rookie, a veteran of only 6 starts, Gary Clute on the pole, but he is beaming with confidence. Alongside on the front row, the experience of Andrew Ranger. 5 poles, 2 victories, 6 top 10 finishes. The battle between these two starts at corner number 1.
We definitely have to talk about French rookies here. 2 great performances. Starting in 5th position is Kevin Lacroix, a well-known driver in the Open Wheel Series. And also starting 9th position is Pierre-Luc Ouellette, known for his career in karting, for 2-time world champion.
And Ouellette filling in for Alex Tagliani in the EpiPen Chevy here today. Of course, Tagliani off at Indianapolis once again this year.
Well, and it's an exciting week for him as he gets that open wheel car up to speed.
Trevor Siebert also behind the wheel of a Chevrolet this year in the 69. Had some issues getting that car fired. He'll roll off pit lane. They do have it started, and he will be able to join for the start of this race. But some tense moments for that team. So as the field rolls along, we'll get a look at some of the onboard cameras the teams will be riding along with over the course of the day today as we take a look at your Castrol Super Clean starting lineup. Of course, on pole is Gary Clute. Andrew Ranger starting alongside. Scott Steckley still looking for his first win on a road course, and last year's champ, LP Dumoulin. Kevin Lacroix in the 74 and Jeff Lapsevich in the 76. And row number 4 has DJ Kennington in the 17. Kerry Mix in the 02, pair of Wiley veterans. There's Pierre-Luc Ouellette in the 18 and Jason Hathaway in the 3. That's row number 5. Taking a look back to row number 6, young Matthew Skinnell alongside Rookie of the Year candidate Marc-Antoine Cameron. J.F. Dumoulin is behind the wheel of the 04 and Trevor Siebert in the 69. That's row number 7. Ryan Clute drives the 42 here today, and Alex Labbé is in the 36. Row number 9 is Kevin Poitras in the 8 car, and young Caden Lapcevich behind the wheel of the 34. Looking back to row 10, Simon Dion-Vienne in the 37, and Dave Coursol is driving the 94. Joey McCombs in the 25, and Ray Courtemanche back in the 29 this year in row number 11. Row 12 is Kevin O'Connell in the 00. David Thorndike in the 67. Larry Jackson's in the 98, and Erica Thiering in the 87. That's row number 13. And starting all by himself in row number 14 is Anthony Simone in the 95.
What a great field of cars here today, Dave. For the first start of the season, it's going to be an action-packed race. The E3 Spark Plugs race analysis, 51 laps. This is a 3.9 kilometer, 10-turn road course. Last year's winner, J.R. Fitzpatrick, and we got a great day for motorsports here today.
And we will have a fresh winner this year's J.R. Fitzpatrick not competing, as we'll go down to Todd with today's Leland lead up to the green. Todd?
Guys, one of the drivers to always keep an eye on here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park is Jeff Lapcevich. That familiar number 76, still looking for his first victory in the series, and especially at this track. He has finished here second 3 times in the last 4 races, but limited opportunities for that victory this year. Jeff's only racing the 2 races here at CTMP. Don Thompson Jr. has come aboard to help crew chief that team, to help get him to victory lane, but this is a year of transition for Lapcevich Racing. Tanya's got more on that story.
As Todd said, it's a transition year for the Lapcevich Racing team. The son, Caden, is going to be racing with them, and he's taking his first start this afternoon.
But there is another story unfolding here today, as the 36 of Alex Labbé will not make the start. A medical issue for the driver of that Lou's Barbecue Dodge, so he'll be unable to make the start. They're pulling the car from the track right now.
Wow, so late. But before the start of the race, you can't get a substitute driver. Just too bad for the 36 car.
Unfortunately for Labbé, he's got a full racing schedule. Hopefully he makes a quick recovery as we're coming to green here in the Pinty's presents the Clarington 200 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. They're already rubbing, and we haven't even seen the green flag, but we're underway here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Up through the gearbox for the first time, down into turn 1. The 59 gets the edge on the 27. Ranger a little sideways trying to get the top spot.
Hear that horsepower as Gary Clute leads them through turn number 2 for the first time. I talked to the rookie as he was sitting signing autographs, and I said, are you nervous with all these veterans around you? He says, you know what? I just have to race my own race, and that's exactly what he's doing right here.
Wow, they're jostling back there. Oh, this is a great-looking race. Lap 1, and they're all over the place.
Now they're finding single file into 5A for the first time. Clute finds it. There's Ranger poking a nose. 5B, they'll head down the back chute for the first time.
This is where they get to use that right pedal all up. I like to call it the loud pedal, Dave. They're all over it. Ranger's in the good seat because he can use the draft.
And Billy, how big is the draft, especially when the cars are this tight in the early going?
Well, Dave, Scott Steckley is actually in the best spot. The 3rd car back gets a big hole in the air. But right now, Dave, 51-lap race, he's just going to sit there and measure the guy in front of him, work the racetrack. We're also coming off a race before us that used a different style of tire. The track will be a little greased up.
So everybody just trying to settle in, find their marks. 51 long laps, as we talked about it off the top of the show, riding on board with Andrew Ranger. Lap number 1 in the books, and a bonus point to the 59 of Gary Clute.
What a great onboard shot right there with one of the road course masters, Andrew Ranger.
You got to feel pretty good about yourself if you out-qualify the driver of that Mopar Dodge.
Oh, I'd say for sure. But you know what? As a crew chief, you might want a tire boy. It's nice to see that clean racetrack in front of you. Was a pretty good teacher running second.
And already some contact as Jeff Lapcevich in the Tim Hortons Dodge gets a little eager underneath the back bumper of Kevin Lacroix. Now remember, Kevin Lacroix coming from the open wheel, raced in the Mazda Pro Series. He's got a lot of experience in that respect, maybe not so much behind the wheel of a NASCAR Canadian Tire Series car.
things are tightening up for second, third, and fourth right there for sure. Everybody's having a good look. Everybody wants to get all the room they can get. Don't want to hurt the race car. But also, you got, Dave, you touched it already. Bonus points for leading laps. All important in that championship.
It really is, and it's a relatively short championship. Just 11 races, so you want to get them wherever you can. And Andrew Ranger will be definitely looking to try and nab one in the early going. We ride on board with Scott Steckley as he travels in third position. Everybody chasing the 59 of Gary Clute. On board the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. As you can see, the sun is shining here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as we head single file down this long Andretti back straight.
The fastest part of the racetrack right there, Dave, and if you've got any horsepower to use, that's the place to use it.
Billy, we talked a little bit about the rookies in this race. Of course, you've got the 59 of Gary Clute. You've got the 18 of Pierre-Luc Ouellette, who just took a look and he made contact with the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. Both go around in turn number 10. No caution yet.
Dave, that happened right in front of us. That was a bold move, but he had to take it, but not this lap.
Lacroix searching for a gear behind the wheel of the Dodge Challenger as Ouellette gets going in the Chevrolet. He'll rejoin traffic. Lacroix still has to spin around again. Still no caution. There he finally finds a hole after the last car goes through. That was the 87 of Erica Thiering, a fellow rookie. You see the yellow rookie stripe on the 74, but I don't think you can chalk this one up to inexperience on his part.
Oh, that's a ton of contact from behind. We watched the 18 dive down into the braking zone, and he didn't get far enough up, just clipped them, and around they went.
Heavy bodywork damage at the very least to the number 74 of Lacroix. He stuffed it hard into the tires after that. They'll have to take it pit side to at least get some of those panels taped up as everybody continues to trail behind the CTL number 59 of Gary Clute.
But Dave, what I've noticed is the lap times have dropped off by a second and a half. So they are really not overworking these race cars, just keeping pace, logging laps, and keeping everything clean. But that rookie up front is enjoying the view. Nothing in front of him.
There's a good look at the Castrol Edge Dodge, the 17 of DJ Kennington, the 02 of Kerry Mix, some veterans as they work through the laps here. Young Matthew Scannell in the Omvic number 56 having a quietly solid run once again here today. There is the 04 of JF Dumoulin. Another Dumoulin joining the field here, trying to make a full-time go this season as LP Dumoulin loses a spot to the 76 of Jeff Lapsevich.
Well, I think Jeff Lapsevich, he's got the bit in his teeth right now. He wants to get that Tim Hortons car up front and finally get that top podium step, but he's got a few laps and a few more cars to take on first.
Well, one of those cars that he's chasing is a Canadian Tire Dodge, the 22 of Scott Steckley, who's yet to win on a road or a street circuit in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. If you ask him what he wants to do the most, get a victory turning left and right.
Well, one of the masters at work. I love that onboard shot watching Andrew Ranger. He's so smooth with that car.
And Kevin Lacroix is in as the crew goes to work on that bodywork, trying to get it knotted back together. They'll get out some of that 100-mile-an-hour tape to make sure it hangs on, but you'll need a lot of it to keep it in check down this straightaway especially.
The 59 of Clute continues to lead, but I got to think that the 27 and the 22 are just sitting there watching the show.
Can you really save your stuff if you just sort of go single file, just like they're doing? They're tucked in close enough. Is that saving enough?
Well, what you got is you're not leaning on the horsepower near as much. You're not sliding the rear tires. You're not driving the thing in and dropping all the weight in the nose. So certainly saving the tires at this point.
Another car down pit lane. It's the 18 of Pierre-Luc Ouellette. Todd?
The plan was for an early pit stop for fuel. They're also adding a few Band-Aids to fix up the bodywork on that 18 car. Quick stop. Tape is on, but now it's been stalled on the way out. Crew going to work to push him and get him refired.
EpiPen coming back on board to support that team this season. You see a little bit of body damage to the left front corner where he made contact with the 74 of Kevin Lacroix.
And Dave, take a look back there in the 47 car. 5th spot right now, and he's won here twice before. No slouch on the road courses.
And the 76 of Lapsevich is closing the gap on these 3 leaders, and it is starting to get tight as we work through turn number 9 and on to turn 10. And look at Clute get crossways. Here comes Ranger looking on the inside. somebody will back off too early to make a move like that.
Well, Ranger was a true gentleman there. He could have just given him a little shot and took the spot, but he waited on him. But there's the problem. That let the third and fourth place car close right up, and now we got some racing going on.
Can only wait so long before it's time to jump, and Lapsevich did exactly that, taking a look down the front straightaway on the inside of the 22 of Scott Steckley. Still single file, but now the top 5 are all covered by a blanket. Into turn 3.
That must have woke Clued up, because now he's put a couple car lengths on the 27. Imagine the spotter in that deal going, what just happened?
On board with the CTL Chevy is Gary Clute, racing at the front of the field for the first time here in Bowmanville. Welcome back to the Clarington 200 here on TSN. The number 3 of Jason Hathaway in the pits in the Leland 300 at Sunset Speedway Chevy. He'll take fuel. There's the 56 of Matthew Scannella. Fuel only stop for him as well. And another driver into the pits is the number 95 of Anthony Simone. And looks like fuel, a little bit of an adjustment on the Dodge.
Well, the crews are going to work hard. This is the time to get your work done and then let it be for the rest of the race. Oh, the 27 all over the leader right now. Now it's going to be a drag race. That DJ Kennington horsepower up against anybody down this backstretch, and he's got a pusher in the 22 on the inside.
The rookie on the outside, the veteran down low as they drag race down the Andretti straightaway.
Dave, this is what this draft's all about. You put 2 cars nose to tail, and they drove right by him.
They sure did. Scott Steckley also picks up second spot as Gary Clute goes from first to third in a matter of a straightaway.
And Dave, he wasn't long slamming the door shut, not letting the 76 Tim Hortons car to get by as well. He had to slam that baby shut.
Now we talk about Clute being a rookie, and he very much is, but he does have 5 starts in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, and out of those 5 starts, he's finished with 3 top 10, so you know he can get the job done.
Well, Dave, he's a great little pilot, and the cars are well prepared, and we got more action on pit road.
0-4 car stops right on the marks. Fuel going in the back, waiting for that fuel sign to start spilling out the back into the catch can. Soon as it's done, there's the tap. He's off and on his way.
Fuel also going in the number 42 Chevy. That is Ryan Clute, the younger brother of your pole sitter, and now sitting in third, Gary Clute, as Andrew Ranger in the Mopar Dodge continues to pace the field. See how far out in the outside groove the 47 was, though?
You beat me to it, Dave. The 47 way out of the groove on corner exit, but maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe there's some fluid down there we can't see.
On board the 22 Canadian Tire Dodge of Scott Steckley in that important draft, as you mentioned. Doesn't take a look. He'll stay in line through turn number 8 as he follows Andrew Ranger on those marks. Now into turn 9, and here comes Scott Steckley looking for pit lane.
Dave, I heard him get off the throttle coming up the backstretch, and I was going to say it was the draft, but he was getting ready to pit.
So Scott Steckley from his second position heading down pit lane to make his first scheduled stop here in the Pinty's presents the Clarington 200 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Ranger legging it out right now on the second place car.
Well, that's what's so great about this race. 51 long laps, but there is a lot of strategy at play, and the 22 is in, now gone. The 47 of Dumoulin is also in to get some fuel in the WeatherTech Dodge.
Long stop for fuel there. They were late getting the can out. He wasn't moving fast enough. That'll cost you, but it is a long racetrack, but every second counts on pit road.
Kevin Quattros making his first start in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series in the TSC Ford. He'll stop for some fuel, and there's a good look at the rookie Caden Lapsevich sitting in 7th spot in the Tim Hortons Dodge. Just in behind is Simon Dion-Vienne in the 37, also having a very, very good race. Couple starts last year in the Canadian Tire Series as your pole sitter headed down pit lane. Here comes Gary Clute in the CTL Chevy. All important to hit that pit road speed limit and adhere to it the whole way down this long pit lane.
Yeah, it'd be a bad thing to be having a run like he's got going and speed down pit lane under green. That'll be tough to take.
Looking for his mark, and he will make his first pit stop here in 2015. The youngster, Gary Clute, getting some fuel, getting serviced by the CTL crew as we continue under green. This is a battle for mid-pack. The 25 of Joy McComb, Trevor Siebert also making his way up through here. And there is Larry Jackson in the Omvic number 98. Jackson racing with a bit of a heavy heart here today. Fellow late model competitor, a driver he drove for in in the late model ranks a number of times. Bruce Rankin recently passed away. They're racing today in honor of Bruce. And as we see the 27 of Andrew Ranger, one of his longtime crew members, Mike Hart, also recently passed away just before the start of this season. So a lot of thoughts with a lot of people here in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series pits to start the 2015 season as Ranger heads down pit lane.
The 27 Mopar Dodge heading to the care of the crew.
Your new leader is the 76 of Jeff Lapsevich. Here comes Ranger, Todd.
Andrew Ranger for his scheduled stop for fuel along pit road. Fuel going in. A little difficulty with the catch can in the back, but he's...
Wow, Dave, a little tough on the clutch. It just sounded like it was leaving in second gear. Maybe they got a transmission problem. The shifter is in second gear. Look right there.
That is pretty interesting. You heard the Mopar horsepower drowning out Todd Lewis, as well as there is your new race leader, the 76 of Jeff Lapsevich. And we've talked almost ad nauseum over the last number of stops here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. This is Jeff Lapsevich's Daytona 500. If there's one race in the series he wants to win, it is right here. So he'll continue out front, leading DJ Kennington and Scott Steckley here in the Clarington 200. We'll be back. Welcome back to round number one of the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series here on TSN. Out of the race lead is the 76 of Jeff Lapsevich. He will be the first to make his stop for tires.
Putting them fresh Goodyears on the left-hand side. Those are the tires that take the biggest beating here, the left side. Most of our corners are to the right.
On board with the Castrol Edge Dodge. A new look for the 17 of DJ Kennington this year, shaking it up a little bit after having a little bit of bad luck, but he is your new race leader here in the Clarington 200. Good luck at Matthew Scannell and Simon Dion-Vienne. These two have been glued together pretty much all race long.
Well, young Scannell, you know, last year he earned his stripes. This year is not about logging laps. It's about trying to lead some laps. Look for the young fella to step up his game.
And you know what? You see a lot of maturity in the pits from the driver, the number 56, Vic Dodge. He looks and walks with more confidence, and you know he knows how to work on these race cars. His father, Howie Scannell, has mentioned that he does get his hands quite dirty as he dives underneath the 34 of another youngster, Caden Lapsevich, and makes a clean pass. Now your leader is down pit lane.
The hot-looking Castrol Dodge heading for pit road.
17 car pits from the lead. Their strategy will be a little different. Team told me earlier they were taking tires first. The left side of that car going up, two fresh Goodyear Eagle Racing tires going on the left side. They'll do the same on the right side. They'll do their pit stop for fuel later on. Maybe it works out. Maybe they can get the fuel stop done quicker and get back out in front with everyone, guys.
Had to wait on the jack on the right side, Dave. That cost some seconds, but I'm sure he'll be able to make it out.
Taking a look at the front of the field, the 22 of Scott Steckley, your new race leader in the Canadian Tire Dodge. There's the 27 of Andrew Ranger, close in second spot, but a packed crowd here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park all weekend long. A big tip of the hat to Miles Brandon, his team, Carlo Fidani, and Ron Fellows as well. They put on a great show once again for Castrol Speed Fest. The place looks fantastic, and we're being treated to a show.
Wake up and smell the coffee. When they tell you their service and collision parts or accessories are as good as original, get out of there. Your vehicle deserves the best. Genuine Mopar. With Mopar, it's easy to keep your baby looking good and running great. Let someone else settle for knockoffs. Get the best for your Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Fiat. We are Mopar. Demand authentic performance.
27 car of Andrew Ranger in for his scheduled stop for tires. Left side going up in the air. They'll change the two Goodyear tires on that side. A problem, though, with the left front. This is a long stop. It's going to lose him an awful lot of track position out on the racetrack, guys. We've run green so far. The yellow doesn't bunch it up. It could really hurt Andrew Ranger.
You see the Leland Johnsonville Ford Fusion of Kerry Mix just ahead. He'll get his tires as well, but if you have a problem on pit road, it's a guarantee this man can make up that time on the racetrack.
Oh, when he puts the bit in his teeth, he can sure go. Young Caden Lapsevich on pit road for his service.
You can see they're going to work getting some fresh Goodyear rubber as we have a new race leader. The number 56 of Matthew Scannell in that flat black Vic Dodge, owned by Jim Bray. And Jim Bray will be a proud car owner in the pits right now as we hit the Tim Hortons halfway update. We've been caution-free so far, all 25 laps. That's 6 leaders, 7 lead changes, as we mentioned. Matthew Scannell is your current race leader. A top rookie, Marc-Antoine Cameron, sitting in second in the 99, but look at the gap back to him. You saw Scannell go by. Wait for it. Wait for it. And there is Cameron just heading past the flag stand in the 99.
Oh, we just talked about Scannell, you know, logging laps last year. This year the target was the lead laps, and guess what? He's getting the job done.
Working on the 67 of David Thorndike, as Thorndike is not on the same lap as Scannell. He'll dive to the inside. Scannell in a new position of having to work through lap traffic as your race leader, as the number 3 of Hathaway comes down. He'll get his Goodyear rubber.
4 new sneakers on the number 3 for Hathaway. He's already got his fuel. This will be the money stop.
You can see the crew's not really rushing. You don't really have to here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. No real threat of going a lap down unless something tremendously wrong happens on pit lane.
You still want to hustle, but you don't want to make any mistakes. The mistakes on this racetrack will add up.
Saw the 42 of Ryan Clute there just behind your race leader. Clute is a lap down in the Chevrolet. The legendary motor car sponsored number 42. Also a rookie this year here in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, as we continue to focus on your race leader, young Matthew Scannell. Here comes Pierre-Luc Ouellette, just diving underneath the number 29 of Ray Quartermass Jr.
Well, Scannell looks pretty comfortable out front, David.
Working his way down the front straightaway. Good look at the 8 of Kevin Poitras, but one driver who's been on pit lane for quite a while is Anthony Simoni. Todd?
Yeah, guys, been a tough weekend for the 95 team. They lost an engine during qualifying yesterday. The crew worked till 11 o'clock last night to start the replacement, finished it up this morning. Lost oil pressure now in this car after putting the fresh engine in. Second motor of the week. A tough way to start the year.
You know what, crew chief Jeff Walt will go to work on that team, and they will come back strong at our next race on the oval. And problems for the 99 of Marc-Antoine Cameron in the Derek White-owned Chevrolet. He's off the pace down the back straightaway. Heavy smoke from the back of that one.
Oh, the car does not sound good on its way by. Something amiss in the driveline.
And this will draw the first full course caution of the afternoon here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. There is his teammate, the 00 of Kevin O'Connell in the White Motorsports Chevy. You know, they're thinking, wait a second, whatever problems on the 99 we may have here too. O'Connell in his very first start in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, but there he is, your race leader, logging his first ever laps at the front of the field in a NASCAR Canadian Tire Series race. It's Matthew Scannell. The 99 has finally made it back to pit lane as we return here in the Clarington 200 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Robin McCluskey, Brandon White go to work trying to figure out what's up. Billy, what do you think?
Well, the noise on the way by, it sure sounded like a transmission to me because the drive shaft was flopping and banging. A lot of racket coming out from underneath that car.
How about this driver, the number 8 of Kevin Poitras in the TSC Stores Ford Fusion. His very first start in the Canadian Tire Series, a veteran of the Trans Am Series, but he must be having a load of fun running near the pointy end of the field.
You got that right, but look up front here. Young Scannell about to bring him to the green. Clute gets in the back of the 22.
Clute starting like he's in a go-kart there as he's given a shunt to the 22 of Scott Steckley. Steckley won't be pleased with that. Will we make it through one? So far clean.
Scannell's got to get him cleared so he gets the preferred line to 2. Steckley's got the preferred line to 2. Scannell hanging tight. Lots of asphalt out there to hold him. Whoa, there's one getting loose.
And it's Ouellette in the EpiPen. Chevy, we're 3 wide, heading into turn number 3. Ranger, Clute, and Lapsovich all side by side. Ranger's going to back off and find his spot in behind those 2.
Ranger was the smart one there. He seen he was in a bad spot. Climbed on the brake pedal and got it down to the bottom.
Well, everybody's settling it down just a little bit, finding single file as Todd is standing by with a dignitary here at Castrol Speedfest. Todd?
With John Grant from Castrol, and what a season it's been to kick off already here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. New colors, DJ Kennington's having a terrific go, and you guys are very involved with Speedfest again.
Couldn't be more excited, Todd. DJ, we've had a long history with him. He's a real champion, all about high performance, which is what Castrol's all about, obviously, and that's part of our whole new colors on his car to show what we've been doing in that regard. And you know what? We're looking forward to a fantastic race and a fantastic season with DJ, and Castrol is all about motorsports.
Thanks for your support, John.
All right, thank you, Todd.
Not only is DJ Kennington all about performance, he's all about reliability. 61 straight races without a DNF here in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series.
And understand that those power plants come out of his own shop. His father, Doug Kennington, builds all that horsepower for those 2 cars.
And it is his 99th series start for DJ Kennington. Next race will be the 100th for the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. Shocking that we've already reached that mark, as we've got an exciting one on here in the 99th version, as the 47 last year's champ, the WeatherTech Dodge of LP Dumoulin, all over the back bumper of the Omvic Dodge, the 56 of Matthew Skinnell. Have a look as they work through 4.
Skinnell all kinds of loose up off of turn 1 and 2, but he's got LP Dumoulin all over his back bumper. The kid is under all kinds of pressure up through 5A. He's got the spot. Oh, contact! Clute bumps the 76 big time up over the curb.
Lapsovich got up on 2 wheels there. Lucky there was that runoff, as he was able to gather it back up, and he really didn't lose that many spots, about 3, and he falls back in line behind DJ Kennington. Look at this field. Still, Scott Steckley well out in front. We'll have another look at this contact between Clute and Lapsovich.
Wow, that's tough right there. That's a spot in the racetrack where things are starting to happen. They'll get tangled up, and Clute just, whoa, he gets into the 47 and the 76.
Yeah, he gave the 47 a couple bumper rumps through 5A and B, and there's the trip for Jeff Lapsovich. Look at the steering he does to gather it back up.
Who's Rubbin's racing, Dave?
Better hope the lid's tight on that double-double to Tim Horton's Dodge of Jeff Lapsovich, and amazingly, he carries on.
Oh, we just have to hope that the front suspension is still all, completely lined up. You look for the steering wheel being crooked, see if the car still turns in good, but Jeff Lapsovich will figure it out.
Quick onboard shot from Jason Hathaway. He's just on the tail end of this lead pack. Again, everybody still chasing the 22 of Scott Steckley's. We ride on board with Gary Clute in the CTL Financing number 59. Here it comes right into the back of the 47.
Well, the same corner, the same touch. He's not making any friends today, Dave.
Oh, it looks like he was a little bit late on the brakes there, but Dumoulin gathers it back up again. Remember, a couple years ago, they revamped Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, paving those runoff areas, and that really saved Dumoulin there.
Wow. Gary Clute, the fastest qualifier, using the chrome horn, as they say.
Now he's chasing a fellow youngster. Young Matthew Skinnell just ahead of the 50, or the 27 of Andrew Ranger, and contact now as Skinnell goes around. In between turns 9 and 10, he'll sit crossways right in the middle of the track, and the field's got to scatter.
Wow, 3 cars in 3 laps. I'm not sure which flag he's going to get shown, but we'll wait and see.
Now was the 59 of Gary Clute. Again, contact with the Omvic Dodge of Matthew Skinnell, and that must be heartbreaking. You're watching the entire field go by after knowing you had such a strong run. Siebert goes around. Lapsovich involved. That's Caden Lapsovich in the 34.
Caution's out, Dave. We got debris and cars all over the place.
Big time debris, a bumper cover laying on the racetrack. That's turn number 1. You can see the exit of pit lane as Siebert manages to get the Lake Excavating Chevy fired back up and headed in the right direction, and this is a savior for the 56 of Matthew Skinnell. He'll be able to catch the field again.
Tighten the field back up, but what a heartbreaker. You go from leading your first laps to getting the chrome horn, and around he goes right here. Watch this. Oh, that's too bad.
Just got contact, and then he tried to hang on to it, and luckily no other cars made contact. A seagull ducking out of the way there, trying to steal some food as Scott Steckley goes through. There's Andrew Ranger, and there's your third place running, the 59 of Gary Clute. But your leader was building up quite a cushion at the front of the pack as we were watching all that dicing, and your leader is the 22 of Scott Steckley. We'll be back. Welcome back to Pinty's Presents the Clarington 200 here on TSN. I'm Dave Bradley. Joined with me in the booth is Billy Rose Jr., Tanya Baudet, and Todd Lewis. Our trackside is 43-year-old Scott Steckley leads him to green once again.
Wow, what a jump. What a great jump for the 22 Canadian Tire car. Steckley still looking for that elusive first win on a road course.
A 3-time runner-up on a road course in 35 starts. He's yet to reach victory lane. Maybe today will be his day as the 22 continues out front. We ride on board the number 3 of Jason Hathaway.
Heading for turn 4. A lot of racing going on. DJ Kennington.
Back two, clear, 27 is behind her.
That's an all-important spotter telling his driver what he needs to know.
We hear the spotters a lot on the tight ovals. Are they as important on the road courses?
Dave, when I drove here, we had 3 spotters. One in the pit box, the crew chief, and then we put one in the backstretch and one right here at Moss Corner.
The action corner, as we will call it from now on, because it really has been so far today. Everybody tucks in single file down the Andretti straightaway. Steckley, Ranger, and Clute. Your top 3, Kennington, Lapsevich, and Dumoulin. But it's JF Dumoulin, not LP Dumoulin. And he's having a great run here today. His first start here in 2015. Expecting to make a handful of starts. Still trying to put together funding for a full season here in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. A great addition. Car around, and it's again the 69 of Trevor Siebert. Rough day continues for that team.
Well, Dave, the back of the car has already been tore off. Could have been no downforce in the back of the car, but the window net comes down, so something mechanical has broken on that race car.
And the caution comes out. Yeah, there's contact. Simon Dion, I believe, touched wheels with the 69, and Siebert goes for a high-speed ride at the end of the Andretti straightaway. So the caution, as I mentioned, is out. And the field will slow once again, but this is going to stack them up. It's going to be a rush to the finish as parts and pieces are laying all over the place. You don't want to miss this. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as we get set for restart number 3 here in the Clarington 200, getting down to the ending of this one. Just a handful of laps left to be completed. The field will double up, and this is a very important restart for not just the front of the field, for everybody.
Well, Andrew Ranger is going to have to get up through the gearbox if he wants to beat Steckley. But, you know, the important thing is he can bury Steckley on the bottom side of turn 1 and be in position A heading for turn 2. But these guys are good at their craft. We'll have to see how it plays out.
And Scott Steckley gets the option of dictating the pace as the race leader. He's been leaving early on the other restarts. He's been doing the same thing. We'll see. He keeps him in check through turn number 10. You see the field starting to bunch. Watch Clute. He gave him a bump the last time. Didn't have to this time as Steckley jams on the gas and he gets a great jump.
Wow, everybody dives down the bottom. The top 3 are single file. Side by side, the 1776.
You see the 3-car Jason Hathaway rubbing fenders with a 0-4 of Dumoulin, but they make it cleanly through 1. Now headed for 2, and they rub again.
Not a lot of room down in turn 2, but if he can hang in there, he'll have him beat the 4.
Clear. Back two, clear. Keep going, clear.
They're all clear because they're all single file through turn number 3 on board with the Mopar Dodge. Andrew Ranger takes a quick peek into 5, but he'll tail the 22 through 5B and now down the back straightaway as Kennington gets a little bit crooked on corner exit off of 5, and that'll open the door for the 0-4 of Dumoulin riding on board with a 76 of Lapsevich.
Short shift, put it in the draft and let it hunt. There he is, full in the throttle, staying pretty much even. He's starting to pull a little bit, but he's not going to get a look this time.
Lapsevich pretty comfortable in the driver's seat of the Dodge Challenger, and look at the gap that the 22 was able to open down that back straightaway. That's going to come in handy a little bit later on.
But right there in the technical turn 8 and 9, Ranger a little better than Steckley in the 22.
It all comes down to who's been able to save their tires the most. Andrew Ranger, who has a lot of wins on the road courses throughout his NASCAR career, not just in the Canadian Tire Series, but also in the K&N West Series and ARCA as well. He knows how to get around a road course, and he's shown his way around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in the past.
Steckley not laying off. You can see that car. He's got a handful. He's wheeling that thing, I'll tell you.
Steckley has a best result here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park of 3rd, coming back in 2012. He is your race leader as we continue to tick off the laps in the dying stages here of the Pinty's presents the Clarington 200.
The entrance to 5 right there is one of the best braking zone and passing zones, but also it's really a good spot to set the guy up to run up the backstretch.
See the door panel flapping on the number 18 EpiPen Chevy of Pierre-Luc Ouellette, but the car still seems to be working just fine as he's tucked in behind the WeatherTech.ca Dodge of LP Dumoulin.
LP thundering up the backstretch trying to get a spot.
Clute a little bit crooked on the brakes in turn number 8 as he's just ahead of a veteran. So maybe a little bit of rookie nerves coming into play as we get into the latter stages of this race. Steckley is your race leader. The 27 of Andrew Ranger is holding on second as we hit the last lap. One more tour around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, 2.4 miles.
10 turns and a short run to the checker, Dave.
Steckley and Ranger now with Clute quite a distance behind, so it'll be between these two to sort it out. Here in this race, Ranger will look to the outside in turn number 3. He'll try to make something happen in 4.
Ranger all over the back of that car, not trying to show his hand right now. He was way out there on the right-hand side of that turn 3, hoping Steckley would dive to the bottom. Here we are for 5.
Steckley will be watching his mirror right here. He'll tuck it to the inside. Ranger takes a look. No contact as they make their way through 5B and now down the back straightaway.
Now it's all about horsepower, Dave.
Ranger will be in that trap, though. He's close enough to get a sniff of it on the back bumper of the Canadian Tire Dodge down the back straightaway. Scott Steckley leading Andrew Ranger. They're trying to get everything out of these race cars in through turn number 8. Steckley has a bit of a gap on Ranger now. Looking to turn number 9, and here comes Ranger to the inside.
Steckley, close the door. There's contact.
Side by side through turn number 10, and they're going to make more contact. A big hit.
Steckley doesn't even lift. Takes the 27 to the outside wall. He's able to save it. He's going to get refired.
And the win will go to the rookie. Gary Clute will come out on top. Lapsevich will come home second. Steckley manages to finish inside the top 10. Believe that one.
Jeff Lapsevich one more time finishes second here in this race.
Wow. Shades of 2008 at 20-yard Quebec. But they're almost in disbelief. There's a torn-up Mopar Dodge of Andrew Ranger. Have another look at this.
Ranger gets down into the braking zone first. Steckley tries to protect. Big contact. And then I'm sure he's just seeing red and drives right over the top.
Neither one wanted to lift in that last corner. And Steckley bounced off the wall. Dumoulin almost got into the back of him, but jumped on the brakes, and he'll come home in 3rd spot. Right on board with Andrew Ranger.
Lot of contact. Then big contact on the front stretch. There goes the 22 over the top.
And then into the tire wall goes Andrew Ranger. Now on board with the 22 of Steckley. He's doing a lot of steering there, and there's the contact up and over the front end of the Castro, or the Mopar Dodge of Andrew Ranger. And now from 3rd place, you get to see this all play out from Gary Clute. Here is your gift, Mr. Clute. And there's the checkered flag as Clute will come home and take his very first NASCAR Canadian Tire Series win.
Well, there's Steckley and Burns having a discussion after the race. There's no sense the crew chiefs arguing, Dave. They weren't driving the cars.
But that man was. Gary Clute will drive it into victory lane. That's where we'll see him next. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and there's the CTL Chevy pulling into victory lane. Billy, what an exciting event, and what a thrilling finish.
Well, we said off the top that he put 2 great laps together qualifying, but I stated that he was going to need to put 51 hard race laps together. Well, he didn't lead them all, Dave, but I'll tell you, he squeaked through turn 10 and got his first victory.
We'll take a look at the top 10 finishing order, and it's really all about the rookies.
The rookies did a great job here today, Dave. Got one in the top 5, the rest are in the top 10. What a performance. They've proved they deserve to be here, and they're going to be contenders all year.
Great runs put in by both Pierre-Luc Ouellette and Kevin Poitras, both inside the top 10. Now let's head down to victory lane, where Todd's standing by with your winner. Todd?
Ready to race full-time this year and compete for the Rookie of the Year title, as well as pile up as many championship points as he possibly can. Gary Clute started on the pole and wound up first across the finish line here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. The big smile on his face says a lot. We'll let him get a cold drink and refresh a little bit. But how big did your eyes get when it opened up in front of you and the 27 and 22 went away and then you had the finish line all to yourself?
I mean, they went pretty big. I was making sure the 22 didn't come back across the track and collect me. Had a quick look in the rearview mirror, and it was mine for the taking, and just trying to run fast and keep everyone else behind.
It wasn't a fluke either. You ran fast all day long at this track. You just said run your own pace, and it should be there in the end, and it was.
Yeah, I mean, I flat out wasn't as quick as those guys. Don't have as much experience at the end of the race on those tires, so just kept it on the track, and that's all I could hope for. I mean, settling for a third and then a win is just bonus.
First time winner in the Canadian Tire NASCAR Series. Gary Clute is a winner at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Jeff, it's 5th time, 2nd place. It's one of your 2 races this season. You had a great battle through the entire race. How do you feel right now?
You know, I'm disappointed. We came to win. This Tim Hortons guys, they worked really hard, and we came to win. And I'm disappointed. You know, the 59 was losing a lot of oil, and it was really making it slick behind him. And we were caught up in it. And I think, you know, I think the 04 was too. He was struggling too. So, you know, we're sort of lucky to get second, but we'll take it. You know, Caden did a great job and stayed on the lead lap, and I'm bittersweet. You know, I'm upset about my run, but I'm really happy for him. He did great. So.
Good, thank you, and great job.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, Tanya. And Lapsevich has been so close so many times here, just can't seal the deal.
Well, Dave, he loves those bottom 2 steps, but the step he wants is that top one. He's got one more shot at it late in the year, and I'll tell you what, he'll be ready this time.
Taking a look at the points, we told you it was going to be a tight championship. Look at this.
Oh, 3 drivers with 41 points in the top 5. This is going to be exciting.
Gary Clute comes out with the lead, but let's go back down trackside. Todd standing by with your 3rd place finisher. Todd?
Saw you earlier this morning, and you told me you felt pretty good. You got to feel even better now with a podium result to start off the season.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we had a great race. At the end, we were there. Our strategy was good. The 04 Belmar, Bernier, Crépeau, Mitsubishi, the car was great. We improved a little bit, and then we were pretty happy to be here. Hopefully next race at Oval even better, but, you know, we'll see.
Good start. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That oval will be at Autodrome Chaudière. There's Anthony Spiteri from Pinty's handing over the hardware to today's winner, Gary Clute. Today's race has been brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. By Tim Hortons, our Canada, our coffee. And by Honey Goo, by Clean Flow, a honey of a lube.
Well, the spraying of the champagne, Dave, he didn't make any friends, but he made his first victory right here today.
Our next race, the Budweiser 300. We'll see you there.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.